A report today in the New York Times says the two 737 Max planes that recently crashed were both lacking optional safety features. But now, in the wake of those disasters, Boeing is reportedly planning to include those features on all Max aircraft. The CBC's Johanna Wagstaff is a pilot, and she joins me. She's been following this story. Johanna, U.S. media saying Boeing will now offer these safety features as standard as opposed to optional, and that Ethiopian Airlines did not have those features on when it crashed.
That's right, Carol. This is a report, according to New York Times, that both Ethiopian Airlines and Lion Air didn't have this additional safety feature that may have helped pilots in those final moments help figure out what was wrong with their erratic speed and erratic altitude changes. Now, these two safety features have to do with a particular aircraft sensor called the angle of attack sensor. So this measures the angle of the aircraft's nose at which air passes over the wings. The MCAS system, which we've been talking a lot about now in question, automatically pushes the aircraft nose down if that angle of attack is too high. So one of these add-on safety features, which is at an additional cost, is called an angle of attack indicator, and it basically just gives that information to pilots in the cockpit. The other sensor, dubbed a disagree light, is triggered when two readings on either side of the plane have a different angle of attacks that don't match. And one of the contributing factors in the Lion Air crash was it was only reading from one sensor, and that sensor may not have been working. I should note, though, that in the Lion Air crash, this all might be a moot point because this was all before we really knew anything about the MCAS system, so hard to say if those sensors would have helped those pilots. Now, CBC has heard back from both Air Canada and Westjet. Westjet does have this disagree light already in their fleet, and Air Canada also has this disagree warning light as well as that angle of attack indicator in their cockpits. And as you mentioned, Carol, Financial Times reporting today that Boeing is going to be adding that disagree light into all of their new planes and retrofitting it into their old planes.
And what are you learning about new information about the Ethiopian Airlines crash?
So again, according to a New York Times report really making waves today, they said that the Ethiopian airline pilot that had over 8,000 hours didn't have the proper Boeing 737 Max 8 simulator training, and he wasn't expected to receive another round of training until March 10th. Ethiopia Airlines strongly disputing that report, and they issued this tweet as well as a statement today showcasing their disappointment and disagreement in the New York Times article. Ethiopian Airlines expresses its disappointment on the following wrong reporting of the New York Times titled Ethiopian Airlines had a Max 8 simulator, but pilot on doomed flight didn't receive training. And to follow up on that, the airline's statement stressed that all their pilots underwent the Boeing recommended and FAA approved training to go from the old 737s to the 737 Maxes. And they also said that the flight simulator in question isn't even designed to simulate this MCAS problem. And I also want to mention, Carol, that the plane, this new Max 8 737, was basically sold because it was a seamless upgrade from the old 737s to this upgrade that required no new flight training, no new simulator training. Basically, pilots just had to go through a tablet overview, get in the plane and fly. And that was a huge selling feature for these new Maxes because upgrade training and sim time is very expensive. The final report from Lion Air is going to shed huge light on this, and we are still waiting for that final report, and we're still waiting for the preliminary report from Ethiopian Airlines. So until we get either one of those reports that really talks about what happened in either one of those flights, it's hard to say whether any of these factors are actually contributing factors. The other thing that could happen is Boeing advises that they do have a major programming fault, but unless we get those two reports or Boeing has something new to say, we really have to wait for more information to know if any of these new reports coming to light have any weight to them.
Johanna, thank you so much.
You're welcome.